Hi, what up? It's Ruben from TGE, and in today's video, I want to talk about how you can get the most accurate and reliable support and resistance levels practically with no effort. Like, you don't even have to look at the charts, honestly. You just look at a tool that I use, and I might be a little bit biased because I built it, but it's literally the easiest way and it's the most reliable way because it's dependent on the option premium market. So this is on the option and stock market. So if you're looking at this from the forex or futures, it's probably not going to work for you. But before I show you, I'm going to show you. Let's talk about the wins. Okay, so we had QQQ. We had an 82% gain on Friday. The first profit taking zone was 82% of the profit, so we took some there. Then we took some more off at 143%, and the runners got stopped at 40%. And then we banked. So overall, we made about 82% gains. So that was a solid win. And then Rodney over here posting his win about being inside TGE Max since July 8th. And he's been following the trades and also learning. And he's made about $4,400 in just that span of a week, risking no more than 2% per trade on a 45K account and cutting losses rather than letting them run into bigger losses like he used to and playing the hope card. For what it's worth, come on over to this side, you'll find it worth it. So it's just this kind of proves, like, if you have a decent account size and you just have a good risk versus reward strategy, right? You have a good risk management strategy, which is only 2%. You can make some decent money in a week or for the month. You don't need a whole lot. You don't need to be full porting or 10% on an account and whatnot. Okay. But anyways, that's the wins for today. Let's get into how to do this. And what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be showing, I have a couple, this is about the time where I like to update the support and resistance levels on the some of the option trades that I'm in. And I want you to see how I do it, so you could do the same thing too and make some money just like we are with QQ and how Rodney's doing it. Okay, so now I may be a little bit biased because I built this tool, so it's called Gextron, and you might have heard me talk about it. But essentially, what this is that it looks at the entire option market or the option chain for a given security, and it will give me the most reliable support and resistance lines or levels based on the current Greeks that it has. And honestly, the only thing I have to look for here is like big tall bars. Like in this example, ACHR is 12, 13, 14, and 15. And that's all I have to do. Like, it doesn't get more complicated than that. You can see here, these are previous levels. You can see that price actually behaved accordingly to these levels, right? We touched it, we hit 12. It actually ended up being stronger than 12, so that's good. But in other levels here, like 11, 10, 50, we struggled there for a few days there, even right here in earlier days. Okay, so all I had to do is just change the coordinates here, so it's going to be 13. So you can see here price right now, the day up, it's bouncing, so that's going to be a level of support. And we have 14 and 15. Okay, and these are tall bars. Okay, you'll see that Gextron will give you uh, different each price level, each strike level on ACHR is going to have a different level of support or resistance. In this case, is resistance if it's coming towards that level. So the taller the bar, the more resistance there's probably going to be. Okay, but the way we confirm this is that typically during market hours, there's an equity tape, the time and sells, and the option tape market, and we're able to see. Uh, this is color coded, so we can see like if this line is actually being supported or if it's a fake. So this goes hand in hand all together. That way, we're not being like it's not a trick or anything. We could be more consistent with it. Okay, so now what I need to mark is 14 and 15 here. So I'm just going to use these lines here, 14. And I'm going to use this one too. Oops, I'm just going to change this one. Okay, So these are the current levels for ACHR as of right now. Okay. I do see potential 17 to 18 in the long term future, which is why we have leap contracts. And here you can see it kind of fades off after 15. So potentially even 20. I'm just going to mark 20. I think I have 20 here. Not yet. So I'm just going to mark 20 here as an area of interest. Okay, 20. So we have 20 there. 20, 15, 14. If we clear 15, we can see a nice little shot to 20. Okay, that's kind of how I'm seeing this at the moment. And that's pretty much my selling zone right there. Okay, that's ACHR. Now let's go to another one. SMCI. SMCI is going to be an interesting one because it got rejected here. This 54 has been the biggest level of resistance that Gacktron told us since it crossed 52, which was in July 15. So we touched 54 and we've been rejecting. It doesn't mean that it's bearish, but it could come back. It could come back for a short-term pullback. Let's take a look at SMCI. This is the pro dashboard because you see everything all in one screen. But this is the original dashboard that you usually see when you first log in. Okay, so this is changing now. So P-trends used to be all the way to 45. Okay, so it's still 50. Okay, this is like where bullishness starts. Okay, 52 used to be it's still an area of interest. It's not as big. It's actually reducing. 55 and 56. Okay, so this is different now. So now 56 is the area of interest. Okay, so I'm going to change that. And then the next area of interest is also 55 because it's very tall. And if price is going towards it, it could be a level of resistance. Okay, so I'm going to update that line. I do need to add 52 in here because it's not as tall, but it's enough to become a level of support. You can see that right now we are underneath it. So if we cannot sustain above it, we can possibly go back down to 50. And if we go down below 50, then I may consider getting out of the trade because it's no longer bullish. All right, above it, we have 58 and then 60. So let me mark those levels because we got to get ready for those just in case it does go above it. So we have 60 above and we have 58. Now, one thing that you'll see here is that I have this line here called QEM. Okay, I have QEM here, which is 61.96. This is my my quarterly target before earnings, either before earnings or after earnings hits. Will it hit it? There's a high likely chance, probably like a 70% hit rate. But if it doesn't, it doesn't. You know, it is what it is. But this is a level. This is a specific number that I got from Gacktron. Like Gacktron will give you the expected move, how much the range bound is by specific expiration date. So I can aim for realistic targets and not be hoping for it. So everything's about being just using math because math, there's really no hope. It's just a math model, right? So I don't have to really guess about it. All right. The last one that I'm going to mark is PDD. Now, PDD is one that we caught and we are currently up. Actually, I think we're down. We were up 35% when we hit above 110, but now we are below 110, which could be a good thing or a bad thing. Let's see what Gacktron has to say for us. Okay, so 110 is definitely the biggest. We call it max reward here, and max reward for us just says this is the biggest. It's the area where it's the biggest resistance area. Okay, max reward. Like this is where price can potentially be at the max before it gets rejected very hard. Okay, and so it doesn't mean it can't get above it. It most definitely can because this is required on all the participants. This is required on institutions, hedge funds, retail traders, and also market makers. That's why this can definitely break above it. As long as participants are participating to take it higher, then that can do it, right? But you can see here, we've had definitely the biggest rejection here. Hold on. We had the biggest rejection here so far. So we we got above 106, which was bullish. That's when we got in. We hit 35% on our contracts, but you can see here that we're actually getting rejected at 110 area. Okay, so that is and that's all because of Gactron. So it hasn't changed since Friday's information. But if we do get above it, 120 is definitely possible, and I can see 140 actually happening. So I actually like the trade a lot. So 115 was a spot, but I'm actually going to remove this now because you can see we don't have a 115 area of interest here anymore. It's just 120, 130, and then 140. I'm actually going to mark 140, which I think I already have it there. And then the next area is 130. So I really, really like PDD on the swing. And I have until October, so we're okay in the Telegram group. So I really like this trade a lot as long as we can get above this 110. Definitely something I'm going to be monitoring throughout the day. Okay. Um, that's it. This is literally it. This is all I do for support and resistance levels. And that's as easy as it gets. It doesn't really get any more complicated. I don't need to look at higher time frames. I don't need to look at different time analysis because everything that I'm getting from the option market, everything that Gextron gets everything from the option market, and I can just make better decisions because it's just math. I don't have to because you don't make money on the left side, you make money on the right side. And so to do that, you need forward-looking metrics to be able to determine what is the future projections going to be for support and resistance. And so that was it. It was actually only an 11-minute video. And if you found that helpful, if you have any questions, just drop a comment down below. I'll put a link in the description if you want to trade with us and if you have any more questions about Gextron. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.